Hello, this is a group research proposal presented to you by Group 19. Siraja Munira, Arvi Maharaj, Spencer McLeland, and Kelsey Lewis. To shed more light in the rapid decline seen in farmland bird population all over the world, we propose examining the effects of imidacloprid on granivorous farmland bird population in the county of Elmira, Ontario. A large variety of bird species rely on insects and seeds to feed themselves and their young ones during the breeding season. Imidacloprid is the most commonly used neonicotinoid around the world. In another study conducted in Netherlands, it was determined that areas where the surface water of imidacloprid was more than 20 nanograms per liter, an average decline of 3.5% in various bird species was noticed. When seeds are sprayed with insecticides, granivorous birds are most likely to ingest them through primary consumption. In a series of experimental studies conducted by Pandey and Mohanty, it was noticed that high exposure to imidacloprid affects the immune response in male birds and hindered the production of eggs in female birds, thus causing a decline in fertility rate and reproductive health of these birds. Regulatory agencies around the world have failed to study the correlation between these birds and imidacloprid use. Considering the declining rates in bird population, more studies and research needs to be done to assess and account for the variation of toxicity. Granivorous farmland birds are a very important part of the food chain. A decline in their population can mean a collapse in the food chain. This collapse could affect the health of all non-target organisms, including humans. Thus, it is very important for us to conduct an experimental research study on these birds and their relationship on imidacloprid use. I now invite Arvind Maharaj to shed more light on the research question of this proposal.
Our research question: the effects of imidacloprid on granivorous farmland bird populations in the county of Elmira, Ontario, Canada. Our primary research questions are coated seeds affecting population densities of farmland birds who rely on agricultural seeds as a primary food source? We will be examining this directly through population densities of farmland birds and the frequencies at which they consume treated seeds. We would also like to make some inferences about what is the chronic or reproductive toxicity of neonicotinoids to birds, and how could it impact their feeding habits. This then leads into the question of whether or not neonicotinoids may be disrupting food chains and affecting birds indirectly on top of any direct sublethal effects. Our final question is it possible to affect bird populations through a reduction of their food supply?
Proposed methods, materials. So we will be observing the effect of the neonicotinoid class pesticide known as imidacloprid. It is most often used as a coating on seeds, so we will be looking at the effect that this coating has on seed-consuming birds. And we would like to know how it affects the population densities of these birds that are consuming this. And we won't be looking at specific species, we will just be looking at any and all birds that are consuming the seeds. Study site. So the location is going to be in Elmira County, Ontario, Canada. There's a lot of agriculture up there, so that seems like a good location to do this. There will be a total of 20 individual observation locations, 5 of each type. So there's 4 different site types. Each one is going to be composed of varying degrees of imidacloprid coated seed usage. And the requirement here is that each site contains at least 2 different farm locations. That way we don't have either 0% or 100% seed usage in the area. sampling method. Because our team isn't exactly the most experienced, we have chosen a design for our sampling which will drastically increase our odds of actually obtaining results. So it's a line transect design which relies heavily on ease of observation coupled with distance sampling, which will help in evaluating how many misses or near misses we may or may not have while observing the sites. And the study will occur over 3 months. We will evaluate each site 12 times, so we will go from site to site every 7 days. Evaluation. So the main thing we're looking at is a change in density over time. But also we're looking at the ratio of the total number of individuals seen to consume imidacloprid coated seeds versus the total number of observed individuals. And we would expect the ratio to be greater for areas in which the imidacloprid usage is lower, and we would expect the ratio to be lower in areas with higher usages of imidacloprid coated seeds, and that would be because there would be a behavioral or biological response. So the total number of consumers would decrease versus our total observed individuals. Yeah.